Hello and welcome back to Shakesyear. We are working on Measure for Measure, and today we get to hear from the Duke in what the folio calls Act 1, Scene 4, what other versions call Act 1, Scene 3, and remember it's because what the folio considers to be Act 1, Scene 2 is longer than what other versions think. In other versions, as soon as Claudio comes in, they change it to Act 1, Scene 3. So anyway, what scene it is aside, if you remember, the Duke has left Vienna and he left Angelo in charge and told Angelo that he is supposed to uphold the law as strictly as he sees fit. And Angelo is taking that very seriously. He's shutting down brothels and inns and bars and all that sort of stuff. And he has arrested Claudio and is going to have Claudio beheaded 3 days from now because he got his girlfriend pregnant. And Claudio's like, but we're practically married. This is ridiculous. We have everything except for the marriage license. It's, silly that I should be beheaded for this, also because nobody has upheld this law in the last 19 years. So Lucio is going to go to Claudio's sister to ask her to ask Angelo to be a little more lenient, to show some mercy, because nobody can find the Duke. So in Act 1, Scene 3 / Act 1, Scene 4, we're going to call it Act 1, Scene 4 for the sake of this, we are with the Duke and he is with Friar Peter. Friar Peter is just another, friar who's hanging out, and the Duke has gone to him to be hidden. And so he starts out and he's like, I'm here and it's important to me that you help keep me hidden, and you're probably wondering why. And Angelo thinks that I have gone off to Poland. I've put Angelo in charge of everything. He thinks that I've gone off to Poland because that's what I've been sort of planting in everybody's ears. But really I'm here and I'm gonna hang out here, but in disguise, and you're probably wondering why. And Friar Peter's like, yeah, an explanation would be good. And the Duke says, we have strict statutes and most biting laws, the needful bits and curbs to headstrong weeds, which for this 14 years we have let slip, even like an overgrown lion in a cave that goes not out to prey. Now, as found fond fathers, having bound up the threatening twigs of birch only to stick it in their children's sight for terror, not use, in time the rod more mocked than feared. So are decrees, dead to infliction, to themselves are dead, and liberty plucks justice by the nose. The baby beats the nurse, and quite athwart goes all decorum. So what he's saying here, and he does have a point, he's saying that these laws have been on the books for a long time. Now, he says it's 14 years, even though Claudio says it was 19 years since these laws have been enforced. But whatever, it's been a long time since these laws have been enforced. And what he's saying is, even though we have these very strict laws, because nobody has enforced them for the last however many years, people just make fun of them and flout them and disobey them because they can. They know they can. It's, it's like the people that are like, oh, I'm going to whoop you so good, and then they never do. And after a while, you don't believe that they're actually going to whoop you so good or at all. So it's not really a threat anymore to have these laws on the books. And Friar Peter agrees with him. And then tomorrow we get to hear a little bit more about, let me just see. Let me just verify what we've got going on tomorrow. Yeah, tomorrow we get into a little bit more about why Angelo is in charge and what the Duke expects to get from Angelo and to get from leaving Angelo in charge of this whole thing for a little while. So anyway, I'll see you tomorrow for more when we figure out what sort of weird games the Duke is playing with the city of Vienna. Mwah.